This is the talk of Music City Real Estate.
Welcome back to another episode of the Talk of Music City Real Estate,
where we educate and motivate all things real estate.
My name is Monte Moore with Realty One Group Music City.
Hey, and I'm Carey Ann with CMG Financial and my mortgage team.
Every single week, we'll be posting a new episode chock full of Nashville real estate value.
Yes, and you can follow and subscribe at talkmusiccity.com.
Got a question for us? Ask away at questions@talkmusiccity.com.
Monte.
Carey Ann, we're back, and man, I'm excited about our guest today because he's going to help me and everybody else listening, if they pay attention to him, not get burned out.
Yes.
And that sounds exciting. And we got Mr. Jason Hoover in the house as well. Thank you, Jason, for being here. I love my shirt. Look what Mr. Hoover gave me.
Well, that's nice.
I love it.
Nice or what?
You've been wearing it for the last 3 weeks.
That's how much I like it.
I actually bought it, and it's an extra large.
Okay.
Did not say it was slim fit, so when I put it on, I look like a 6-month-old or 6-month pregnant man. I was like, yeah, this ain't happening.
I think it's sharp. I like that black and white.
Fortunately, I benefited from his concern about his.
That is okay. But before we get started and talk about how we're not going to get burnt out this year, I'm all about that in 2022. Let's talk about our amazing sponsor. So very grateful for Music City Removal. They are the #1 junk removal service in Nashville for residential, commercial, and construction. They're experts in ridding you of junk. Their costs include labor and dumping fees without any hidden or added expenses. So whether you need a full clean out or just one unremoved, they have you covered.
The Music City Removal team knows the importance of respect and trust while in someone else's home. They understand the inconvenience of junk left behind by previous homeowners and tenants and are determined to provide an affordable and customer-focused junk removal service that puts you first. For a free on-site estimate, just go to musiccityremoval.com. That's musiccityremoval.com.
Yes, Music City Removal, because clutter ain't cute.
You just can't wait to get to that part.
I'm just like, come on. But this was so funny. I'm watching you watch me read when I wasn't reading. I had it memorized. That's where I got a little confused. I turned over and I was memorizing as you were.
I don't take the chance.
We've only been saying this a few years. We're so very grateful for Music City Removal. Yes. So also, who's in the house? Dr.
Frank Marghella.
Yeah. It's good to be back.
Yeah, it's good to have you here, man. Thank you. If anybody needs to be equipped not to get burned out, it's Jason and I. Can you give us some tidbits?
I got some good stuff.
Nothing more exciting than having the position in life that you're responsible for a couple hundred people. You can't tell them what to do, but you're responsible for everything they do. And in a crazy environment called real estate sales. But I am so grateful. I've never had some more fun in my life, really, truly. I may whine once in a while when something stupid happens, but I am on a quest to raise the bar in our industry, and we're surrounding ourselves here. Jason, I know you agree with this, that we are attracting some amazing professionals that are going to help us raise that bar so that the things that some of these high-tech companies are trying to do, and that is put us in a corner that we're not an unneeded extra expense, that we're truly the advocate that is helping the consumer have their best experience in the real estate buying and selling mode, and that's my passion. That's my hope for my legacy.
But any driver out there, because we talk about the disc test, and so if you're a driver out there, we're like, it's a new year, we're going to get out there, we're going to make it happen, and then if we don't plan to kind of create some balance and some health, focus on our health, we're burnt out. I mean, it happened to me, last year, that's for sure. So the planning is a little different this year. So I'm excited to hear how you can help us manage that lack of burnout.
I'm excited too.
What's that saying? You know a lot about it. Fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Yeah.
Yes, I taught about that today. Did you see the movie King Richard?
Yeah.
Was that not so good?
I haven't seen it.
You can't let the girls watch it yet because there's got some swear words in it. But as I was like, hey, Aubrey, watch this movie. I'm like, hey, not so much. That was a bad move on my part. But it was all about Venus and Serena Williams' dad, who created this plan for his girls. And talk about a plan. It was all about visualization and, structure and boundaries. Like he literally was like, they're not working out today. They're going to Disney World, and they, do you know they know 4 languages?
Oh, wow. I didn't know.
4 languages. I mean, focused on making sure that they were well-rounded girls, because you saw one of the girls, which we won't say her name, but She was 18 and she got arrested for drugs, and not his girls, a different tennis player. And he said, not my girls. That's not happening. They're out. And he like put the boundaries up because he said he wanted to. So planning is so key. And if we don't plan ahead, would definitely,
Yeah, this is a business that kind of sweeps you away. You know? I mean, it really sweeps you away. It can. And the tail suddenly wagging the dog. That's why our agents have heard me talk about Miracle Morning for real estate agents for so long, because it's a way of getting up a little earlier, make sure you've got a foundation underneath you, and it really is so helpful. Otherwise,
it's easy to get lost in the battle.
It really is. It truly is.
I mean, you can have a plan, and next thing you know, you're out there in the middle of the battle and just firing away, just trying to stay above, trying to stay alive.
So Frank,
really.
talk to us, man. What's the secret here?
So you guys were already kind of talking about, number one, I think, is remembering your why. Because if you don't, then you don't remember why you're doing what you're doing. Like I got into chiropractic because my father passed away at a young age. I've seen my mom have cancer, and I just said, I want to help people avoid this situation. I don't want to see other parents have that happen. I just don't want people to end up in that situation. So on top of that, when I go in the office every day, I got this little Rocky quote on my windowsill, and I have a "Don't Quit" poem, if you guys know the "Don't Quit" poem, sitting there, and I read that every morning before I start my day, because it's kind of like my mantra, and it just kind of gets me into the zone. I played football a long time, played a lot of sports, so it's kind of like it focuses me on what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's interesting how we can use other people in our lives to either pull us towards what they're doing or propel us away from them. And my father was not a good example, and he's always been a reminder of mine, though, that I don't want to end up like my father did and go down the path he did. So I do take care of myself. I do try to, grow constantly in every way, and especially health-wise. So I'm excited about hearing, and I believe, and I agree 1,000%, the why has got to help you stay centered and stay focused.
So off of what Jason was saying, like we put a plan together, but then we fall off because of just life or the business, et cetera. Would you think, and probably where you're going to talk about this, is maybe planning for when that does happen, to like how the bounce back occurs? Because I think a lot of people don't know how to get back on the train. Like we fell off, right? And then they wait another day, and then they wait another day, and then it's gone so long that we just don't even know how to, get back up, type of thing. So keep talking.
So that leads me right into number 2.
I love it. Hey!
You got to set realistic expectations.
Okay.
So everybody at the beginning of the year typically plans their year. They have goals, they have things they want to do. In my business, it's health, and a lot of people are doing weight loss for their New Year's goals. There's actually a day, this year it was January 15th, it's called Ditch Your New Year's Resolutions Day. Yeah. And a lot of people halfway through January give up on their New Year's goals because either A, they didn't have structure, or B, they didn't think they were getting results. And it happens to so many people. 90% of people don't accomplish their New Year's goals, but also some people put so much unrealistic expectations on New Year's that they can't possibly achieve it anyway. Like, I'm going to be jacked in the next 2 weeks. I'm going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger in 2 weeks. It doesn't work like that. Right. You got to really know, okay, what if I have underlying health conditions, what's my age, where am I starting at? Like, have some realistic goals that you can accomplish, because if you don't accomplish those goals at all, then you really don't want to go through with them.
They work against you after that.
Yeah, so then you just kind of give up because you don't have it. So like with our office, we have structured plans to help people with their health goals, whether it's weight loss, whether it's chiropractic, or whatever they're trying to do. And you need somebody there to guide you. You need a family, you need a friend, you need a doctor, you need a mentor, you need somebody there that you can kind of work with, because that leads me to really, the next one is you got to switch things up as well. Like, you can't have the same monotonous day ahead of you. You have to switch things up. So you have to switch up. Like, if you're working out, you got to switch up your workouts. If you do the same workouts, you're not going to grow. You're not going to build muscle. You're not going to get, if you're trying to train for a marathon or whatever it is, you got to give yourself new challenges. And don't forget to write down the positive things that happen as well. Like, really write down the positive things that happen in your day, because a lot of people focus on the negative. Oh, I didn't make that sale. I didn't get that client, or whatever's going on. Like, focus on the wins too, because there's typically a lot more wins, and you focus on the 1 or 2 losses, and that stimulates what you're trying to really accomplish.
I love that. You just gave me a really good idea what I'm going to use, because you're right. I mean, we do get home and we bitch and moan about this or that, and we forget to raise the glass or celebrate the thing that
Celebrate
really
your wins.
went so good, And there are so many. If you stay so busy, there are some greatness, in the mix of those few things that possibly could go wrong.
Yeah, always bringing that attitude of gratitude into it. More and more often, I'm trying to go to bed at night with listing the top 10 things for that day that I'm really grateful for.
Oh.
And it just sets a whole different mindset, I think, for better sleeping. Personally, you're focused on that instead of something that really pissed you off during the day or something.
Yeah.
But there's so many things we take for granted, because we put that whole emphasis on that loss maybe that day without considering all those good things.
Right. Smart.
Last night, as an example, I'm sorry for almost interrupting you there, Frank. Right now we're working as a company, we're encouraging our agents to come up with their one word.
Yes.
You've heard us talk about that.
I got mine.
I was literally, and in looking at the list, no offense, my brother Jason Hoover, when I saw data, guess
I knew that was going to come up.
But no.
Your word's data?
Yeah.
Data.
I love it.
He loves the data. That's his love language.
It is.
Okay? That's his love
I
language.
didn't know if you were going to tell me D stands for blank, A stands for blank,
Data.
T.
No, data.
Just to let you know, we're such data geeks, whatever you want to call it, is that in my previous life, when I was in corporate, I actually had a cake made for my boss with a spreadsheet.
I love it. So you want to bring more data into your world.
The data means, he's on track. The data means he's accomplishing what he wants
I
to accomplish.
see.
That's
Okay.
his
I
love
like
language.
that. I gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, what gets measured gets changed, and you don't know your business unless you know your numbers. So I just want to dive in deeper to my data.
No, I thought that was cool.
I'm getting him. I'm
I'm
not going to tell him what I'm getting him, but just wait till you know when I'm going to get him.
I'm looking at this. So I asked Chrissy, I said, look, you sent, I shared on yesterday's huddle call the words, but what I asked Chrissy for, can you give me who's come up with that word? And then that's where I got the time from. Okay, Jason's on data. I knew that. I almost said something yesterday's
You
call.
didn't even need to know his name next to it.
But that's not why I asked for it. I said, can you also send me any of the backstory that people shared as to why they chose
love that,
a particular word? I was literally sitting there. I know you can't, no offense, Jason, I know you can't relate to this. I was sitting there last night in tears, okay, in my office by myself, reading these incredible stories, okay, why they felt like this one word was what, God spoke to them, that they were supposed to embrace. And some of the stories, some of our folks have gone, we fail so often to realize what somebody sitting next to us, because they're keeping a smile on their face, what they're going through. But anyway, if you haven't read the One Word book, do that, because it's really powerful. It's a 45-minute read, even for me, and I'm a slow reader.
And I do want to say, I have a heart, everybody. I really do.
He does.
Contrary to what Monte says.
No. It's not that you don't have a heart, but you're just more a matter of fact, and we balance each other out. Because sometimes I'm too sensitive. Sometimes
I am emotionally detached a lot of times. There you go.
Yeah. Do you for you. There you go.
But your wife, balances you guys out really well.
But I love the challenge
whether I
of
want
the
to or
one
not.
word. That challenge of the one word that you taught us a few years back has been great. My word is decide. Decide to not let fear take over me. Decide to just accomplish whatever I put out to do. Just make a decision. Talking in myself in circles and not even functioning, just keeps me in my little box here. So, and deciding to put a plan together to not get burnout, because last year was difficult, and I didn't like what it did to my health. I didn't like what it did to my mindset. You aren't you anymore. It's like an alien takes over your body.
Well, you
like,
start
what's
playing
the deal?
defense too much rather than offense,
Yeah,
Growth
and you
happens in
just can't
offense.
get a breath. Like, you just can't get up, and it's pushing you down. So we talked about our why, which is huge. We talked about changing up your routine. I think that's key, because you're right. We do the same thing over and over again, and we kind of get bored to a point. And I love that you said we broke, people fall off the wagon here this past weekend, because that's what I posted this morning, because that's what I was told. I was like, let's prove him wrong. Let's keep going. For nothing else, we just need to be healthier, right? Like, just move. Whatever you're going to do, just move, right? Because I think that's going to help all of us, as we continue to hopefully end this pandemic here soon enough. What was your second one that you said?
So we had set realistic expectations.
Yeah,
as
I love
well.
that. Yeah, set realistic. I love a good push goal.
Do you actually set a numbers goal? Because your numbers are amazing. what was your number last year that you set, and what did you accomplish?
Well, I wanted to hit at least a certain number, and I knew it was going to be less than the previous year. And I was a little off on that, but again, that was a push goal. So I was still super proud of myself, with what we were able to accomplish with all the amazing real estate agents out there.
When you set a goal, you're calling it a push goal. I set a goal, a stretch goal, and a dream goal. Where were you at in the goal setting?
Yeah, where we accomplished?
No, what I'm saying is, I break it down in 3. I have a goal, a stretch goal, and a dream goal. Is that how you look at goals, or are you just looking at one number?
Yeah, the push goal is my stretch goal, I guess,
Okay.
Pushing myself to over the limit or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I think it is a situation where I want to hit no less than, right? But also have big dreams to do, something different. But be realistic. I talked to some loan officers today, and they've got amazing goals, and I would just want to look at them. And they said to me, well, I'm not ready, or I'm not going to be able to do that. And I said, yet. I'm not going to be able to do that, but yet you can do that, And she said, well, you said that so many years ago. I said, if I could take 10 years off of me waiting 10 more years to decide to go pro in my business, or decide to, we can make that decision today. Let's try to do that. So, but yeah, very blessed. Last year we helped 975 families. So 70 families less than the previous year, but it was still an amazing accomplishment. And my goals is to be purchase centric. So super grateful for the 85% purchase business in a market that did not like mortgages. Yeah, it was a cash driven market. So really grateful for that, Yeah. So setting proper expectations, not to get too overwhelmed with the same old.
I think that one is so critical with agents, because you can get so discouraged. Your goal can end up working against you if you're not careful. So the realistic part matters. But I think it's a good segue just for a second here, a side trip here, Jason, on talking for a second about the 12-week year. Have you read the 12-week year yet?
No.
Okay, so that really falls in line with that, because the challenge is when you get off it's January and you're ready to throw in the towel already. Yeah. Because you're thinking, oh, hell, there's no way in hell I'm going to be able to do this, between now and December.
Ice cream really looks better than this broccoli.
The 12-week year breaks your year into 12-week segments. Okay. So you look at the month more like the week, and the week more like the day. Okay. And so each day suddenly has a whole new meaning to it. But the point is, it also gives you 4 years of opportunity. Okay, that you break down your goal in quads, obviously. Okay. But now you're more driven to those. You want to explain it, Jason? I know you're better probably equipped than I am.
Because he's full of the data.
No, but he's the one to turn me onto the book, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and it just helps. You're right. You're on the right track. It just chunks it down for you, so it's bite-sized pieces. Okay, and that it also gives you checkpoints to make sure that you're still on track, so that you're not halfway through the year and you're not even close to hitting your annual goal. So by chunking it down, it becomes more powerful. To you, and it impacts your business, because your 12-week year, if you blow it, okay, well, that year's gone, right? Instead of waiting the whole year and then saying, oh, shoot.
Because the human brain has a hard time really embracing, 12 months, 52 weeks, okay? Yeah. And the nice thing about breaking that up is that if you do fail, you've got, I've got a fresh year coming right up, behind it here, and I can hit it hard and make up for it then.
And it's human nature, because we are instant gratification, right? So, and it kind of plays into that. And I know they did studies in sales. I know we're not in sales, but I come from the used car business, where they would have bonuses where it was a fast start, fast finish. So the fast start, you get a bonus on how many units you sell until halfway through the month, and you'd have a second bonus if you finish off, and then you also had the monthly bonus.
Oh, I see. So you get halfway in your bonus, you get a bonus.
Yeah, so it's like you had so many different opportunities to get a win.
Yeah.
So that's kind of it's in the same concept, that instead of waiting a whole year for a bonus and then a trap door happens and you don't get anything, I've been there, that really stunk. but you wait 52 weeks for your bonus, and then you don't even get it.
Yeah, that's hard.
It's and they've done the studies on it. It's not as motivating.
Sure.
Well, if you apply those certain principles to your business and chunk it down to where you can have those wins, multiple wins within the year, you're just going to do better.
Well, one thing that they analyzed in their data was that people had a better December typically than they did, a February or March or something like that, because it was crunch time. There was a dead end. There was a time limit to it within range. Okay, I've got 30 days, or back it up. I've got 45 days. When we talk about goal setting, starting in October, because we want to get people thinking that way, But anyhow, continue.
I just thought it was because they couldn't find houses, and then they finally found one at the end. That's how I looked at it, thinking, because we had a great,
They found a way.
Great December. That's what I was. But I think you're onto something. I love that idea, because there are some people that are self-motivated. We can get up in the morning, we can look at the plan, we can register the plan, and we can execute on the plan. There's other people that struggle with that a little bit, and that's kind of why there's coaches, there's mentors, there's brokers, to help kind of move everybody. But keeping it simple is, so
If it's not
important.
simple, it won't get done.
Right. Simple. What do they say? KISS. Keep it simple.
Stupid.
Or serious. I changed it.
I was going to say, sweetie.
Yeah. Thank you.
We do that. So I'm in my office with a couple of doctors. One of the other doctors actually has a couple of offices. He's been in business longer than me. So I meet with him just about weekly, but we just set our goals for the year. And he's taught me a lot about the business side of it. Like, you have to know what you're good at and where you need to work on. So just like you have to have the people around you that are good at certain things, like I need somebody at the front desk to schedule the appointments. I need somebody to help me do the therapies on my patients. I need somebody to put up the lipo laser paddles on somebody, or do laser treatments or decompression. I can't do all that. There's been times where when I first started in practice and, I had some sick employees or whatever, and I would have to do that. Somebody told me a long time, you have to delegate to elevate. And if you don't have those people in place, and as the doctor, if I'm scheduling the appointments, taking the payments, calling the patients, I can't elevate my practice. I can't help more people. So I have to know what I need to put these people in place. And the guy that I work with, we just talked about these goals. So we set our goals, and last year I grew the practice, even though it was still kind of a tough year with everything. And then this year we have goals, but again, they're not unrealistic. They're just really just doing a little bit better each month. And having patience when they're done, just talking to them. A lot of people think, oh, no pain, I'm done, but life goes on. You sit at a desk all day, you drive in a car all day, you might be flying around the country doing jobs that you have to do, and it's important to periodically come in and get adjusted. That's something that we talk about. So those are the kind of things that we're looking at. Where's basically do I have holes in my bucket? Where are the holes in the bucket? And you got to patch the holes.
Dear Liza. I think that's a song. One thing
with that in mind, another book. I'm a book monster.
Oh my God, look at us. We're twins.
Oh yeah, goodness.
How long have Monte and I been together? That is too funny.
Did you pull that up as well?
I did. I just pulled it up.
When he started talking that way?
I was like,
I'm sorry.
we're on the same
Have you read the book?
I just started it.
I did too.
Oh my gosh.
Who Not How, is that the book?
Yeah.
Who Not How.
What's that one about?
You guys need to get it. It's really good.
Yeah, it really is, because it talks about Michael Jordan. As great as he wasn't a success until he had surrounded himself. Yeah. I mean, first he had an amazing personal coach.
Yeah.
And then of course they brought in Scottie Pippen, and of course he had an amazing coach, on the court. But it wasn't until that was brought together to surround him, like you're talking about him, to, it's so relevant.
It's not about how we're solving the problem. It's about who can help us, and so it's so important. And you guys many people that are in the real estate business have amazing leaders, mentors, brokers. That's a who that will help you go to, this is a great recruiting book, right? Because, you want to surround yourself with people who can help you go to the next level, right? And elevate your business in however you want to do it.
Hoover was a who.
Yeah, for sure.
And it wasn't a how for me, because I could only do so much. And when Jason Hoover came in to my world, he became a very, very important who to help now, take us to a next level.
I mean, it comes down to even who's encouraging you, if you think about the person who came up with that concept didn't write that book.
No, Dan Sullivan.
Yeah, it was.
Dan Sullivan.
It was his concept, though.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
he didn't even write a word.
He didn't even write the book.
Because he
had
delegated it to the Who.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Ghostwriter.
Yeah. Or no, somebody on his team,
Yeah, he took the notes from him and he wrote the whole book.
In a third
with
party.
his concept, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a great book because you're right. It's not about, it's just about surrounding yourself. We're putting a plan together, but if you really have a goal, and decide what your strengths and weaknesses are, and go back to the disc test, and figure out how you can fill the holes. Like you were saying, I was being silly because we're parents and we know that song, but fill the holes.
Yep.
Keep going.
So, all right, number 4 I think is really important, and we've talked about this before. As humans, we have to unplug to recharge, and what that means is we have to say, okay, at the end of the day, I can't be answering emails till midnight because I feel like I have to do all this stuff, and I can't get up then at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning and immediately answer those emails again. You have to know when it's time to unplug, and that also means when you can take a little bit of time off or step away, take a vacation or even just like a long weekend, because if you don't, you are going to burn out, guaranteed. And the way that, like, I know this market, I'm not a realtor, but man, this market is crazy. So I know that you guys are probably dealing with this 24/7, but you got to find a way to kind of balance it. Because again, if you start the day off where you're on somebody else's agenda, you are now using the wrong parts of your brain, and your day is not going to go where it should go. Your stress level is already here, and you haven't even made it to the office yet, and it's just going to take a little bit more to get you over the edge. If you go and start the day off, you have a good workout, you eat some breakfast, you do some meditation, read the Bible, do something for you, and then get to your day, you're going to have such a better success rate. You think you're going to have a better day when you start working right away. It's not always about how many hours you put in. It's the quality of the time that you put in at that work. And just don't wear yourself out. Take those vacations. Take the time that you need with your family. Do those things that you enjoy because you work so hard. Take some time to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Yeah,
we learned that with, COVID. Life is really too short. I always said, well, when I retire, as I look at him, when I retire, I'm going to do this, this, and this, but life is too short. We need to start implementing, the important things in life. And so an activity I did with the office, I said, what's important to you? Maybe it's, wanting to go on that 2-week vacation. Maybe it's wanting to go to church every Wednesday. Maybe it's date night that you want to do. Maybe it's, wanting to make sure I'm home enough to pick my daughter up. Whatever the important thing is for you, you need to, implement that. He talks about in the book, are you playing checkers or are you playing chess? Like, are you playing, like you said, you wake up and all of a sudden you're playing somebody else's game. Like, you take back control. Like, you make the move, right? Like, they're playing your game, which I think was really powerful when I said that, to a point where I brought a checkers board and a chess board into the office today to try to make my, the scenario there. But I think that's key to what you're looking at doing.
See this right here?
Oh, that's beautiful. Is that where?
Those are my hairy legs.
I was like, what? I didn't know what was going on there.
That's a fishing pole right there.
There you go.
Okay, that's the lake behind the house that Connie and I bought in Florida.
Love it.
Okay? Yes. So I can't be there, but I'm visualizing.
Visually there.
Every once in a while, I look at this. Okay, that lake looked really, really good.
Yeah, that is
because
awesome.
you got to take that mental break. So one way or the other, either physically and or mentally, or at least mentally. I look at this every day. I wish I had, didn't look like I was weird, like a grasshopper
now
sitting
that I
there
know
with
what it is, you're totally fine. There's a girl named Amy Porterfield, and I listen to her a lot, and she's great. She worked for Tony Robbins for years, etc. But she talked about the 4-day, only working 4 days a week. And I was like, maybe that could work. Not so much totally in my business, but what if I took 1 day off a month on a Friday, and start there to nothing else but have time to read the book, to have time to possibly go to a spa for me, right? Or possibly listen to a podcast, that I never have time to do, just to, like you said, unplug. someone may want to sit and drink a bottle of wine. Another may want to listen to podcasts. You do you for you, whatever works best, but truly taking the time. This is a year to create balance for me. I'm going to spoil my mom rotten this year, and I'm going to really do that. I've never taken a vacation more than 4 days, to be able to go out and really take some time and enjoy and create those memories. Hopefully it'll bring some excitement back, after being unplugged. So good stuff.
Well, that's kind of like what we do now at the office. The way with the pandemic, we were still open, but we cut our hours down just to try to condense things. But as last year came around, we ended up not being open on Tuesdays. So now we just do Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I find that I'm able to do those things on a Tuesday that I normally doesn't get done during the week.
Oh, cool.
And so we do some stuff with the staff in the morning. We'll do some training and things like that. But then basically I have the rest of the day to go if I need to go to the dentist.
Yeah.
One of the things I've been able to do now with my kids, I go eat lunch with them a lot. I'll go volunteer at their school. Like I'm about to take them to practice here, later today, and I can go take them to practice, hang out there, and be a part of these things because I don't want to miss out on these things. They're my daughter, one of them's 7, one of them's about to be 11, and you only get so much time with them, and I don't want to waste that. And one of the things of the pandemic, I realized I need to spend more time with my kids because it's limited. And I think we have a strong relationship from doing that, and I'm able to do a lot of things on a Tuesday, or even like go grocery shopping and like no one's there. It's just nice to go and not have to be rushed, and no one's bothering me, and I can just go and do something like that. Or like I'll do like today, like we'll do the podcast today, or I have my own podcast, Sporting Good Posture, and I'll record episodes of that. Like it gives me a chance to do those things other than being a doctor. You know what I mean? Like it gets me out of that mode, which is nice.
I look back, Jason, I lived vicariously through you. You didn't realize you took me on your vacation last year when you went to
our road trip.
Yeah, but how fun. To think like that might have been stressful on top of, chaos, but talk about like focus on family, and just a real,
That's the best trip ever.
Yeah.
It really was. I give all credit to Mindy on that one because, 3 of the 4 people that were on that trip weren't really that excited about it, being 10 days in a car together.
Right.
But it turned out to be fantastic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you saw it, you saw the fun and just the beauty that what you were able to see, and just stuff like that. And it's made me start to plan for next year. As in
Your
this
kids
year.
will never forget that,
No, none of us will.
Yeah.
I just wanted to share something really quick. What you brought me back. So I'm a believer in keeping reminders, and so this is a picture I fortunately took of my office when I was.
I was concerned you were going to show us your hairy legs like Monte did.
No, but I took it, and every once in a while I look at it, and it's just a picture of my office of how bland and how there wasn't a window in the place, but if you notice, it's brown. Brown, on brown, on brown.
Right. No color in the picture, guys.
No color. And that's where I spent 10 plus hours every single day, and sometimes on Saturdays.
You're kidding.
No. It was in there.
Show our viewers. Nothing.
That's literally everything that I saw. And there's no music. There's nothing. You could hear people typing.
Really?
So the whole time. So that kind of motivates me. And, every once in a while, I love what I do.
Yeah.
I love my life. It's a life that I have created. And that's why, I was going to say, and tying this back in, is that I would say unplugging is my hardest thing. It's so difficult to unplug, and you need to. Yeah. I get it. Even when we go on vacation, I know, on our anniversary trip, it was kind of a working anniversary.
They took a picture sitting together, both of them were working.
Yeah, and Monte even told me to stop texting him. He's like, leave me alone. So I'm like, well, I can't.
Yeah.
But I think that's hard for people. It is.
But at least you were gone. Like the hardest thing is you made the step to at least leave.
Yeah.
Sometimes the drivers, we don't even leave. Like, and then we woke up and we like, we should have done something. Why didn't we do anything? And just by maybe waking up in a different place, maybe can rejuvenate or kind of help things.
And just to be, completely transparent, we went as scouting places to invest.
Oh, cool.
So it was still work related on an anniversary.
Maybe you could write it off then.
Learn from the old guy, guys.
Tax deduction.
Learn from the old guy. Time goes way too fast.
Yeah.
Your little girl's sitting out here waiting for you right now.
Yeah.
You blink, you turn around, and all of a sudden, my daughter is now 44 years old.
Wow.
and my son just had a birthday yesterday. My middle son, he's 42, and my youngest son is 38 years old. And I've got 8 grandkids and I've got 2 great grandkids. I mean, just like that. I mean, if it wasn't for me looking in the mirror on occasions and wondering who the old guy is looking back, I wouldn't feel like I was old enough to even have these kids, but so it really does go so quickly, and you have to ask, why am I doing this? Truly, why am I doing this? One thing that's always helped me over the years, whenever I did, take a pause, was every good woodsman takes time to sharpen his axe. We forget about that. We're just, I'm sorry, I'm too busy cutting this tree down. I don't have time to sharpen my axe. And that's a good analogy, I think.
But also, if you want to be very, very successful, you can. So like some people like, oh, you work, like you said, I like that. Like I'm excited to hit big goals. I'm excited to help as many families. That's okay for me, but I also can add some fun and joy. The other thing is find joy. Did Connie keep that as her word, joy? Yeah, I love that. Find joy in your day, every day. There's something joyful, and continue. But, some people go, how can I do it all? You can if you want to. Like it's just creating that balance,
But that goes back to the, again, who, not what, or what, what's the
Go back to the book, Monte.
Yeah, go back to the book.
Go back to the book.
It's surrounding yourself with those people.
Yeah, the who, not how. Yeah.
Who, not.
Yeah.
Well,
Who, not
Frank, do we have,
There's
was that
one
good?
more.
All right, what is that one?
And it's a question I'm going to ask each of you. What do you think is your greatest asset? And I'll give you the answer that I think is the real answer.
Ooh, there's a right answer?
Who do you think is your greatest asset?
Or what do you
What?
What do you
think
think is your greatest asset? Jason? You got the data.
Yeah, and I want to say that whatever I come up with is probably going to be a double-edged sword, because I would say work ethic. I mean, it really depends on how are we compartmentalizing that, and like family, work. So it's I love the question. It's like, but
So think
Greatest
about, what do you
asset.
think?
Yeah, my greatest asset would be, well, for me, I would think I would go back to raising a really good kid. Like
See, that's where I
something.
went first, and I'm like, well, but are we talking professionally, or personally? Because I was thinking first is definitely it's our legacy.
Yeah, the legacy piece there. I kind of, she's having some difficulties in school right now, and she raises her hand, doesn't get called on. She raises her hand, doesn't get called on, and she's struggling with this person and that person, and da da da. And I say, you know what? That's going to happen your entire life, right? And you just continue to raise your hand, and you continue. And so watching her grow into somebody that has confidence, that has maybe the same drive and work ethic, that's joyful, who leads with her heart and wants to help others, I think is same way you're raising yours and you've raised yours. But what is the real answer?
Well, what about you, Monte? What do you think?
Well, I think for me personally, it's. I mean, again, I know I'm a workaholic. I get that. I wouldn't want to retire tomorrow if somebody dropped me, $10 million on my plate. What empowers me is the idea of leaving a legacy. And I tell this to the agents sometimes. I want you to remembering the tall, gray-haired guy that made a difference in your life, because at the end of the day, I was able to affect a certain number of lives in real estate, biggest asset in their lives. But now that we have 200 plus agents, we're going to, this year do over 2,000 transactions. That's 2,000 lives, 2,000 families where they create their grandest dreams and so forth. So for me, it's the empowerment I get of the idea of truly living a legacy. It's not about the money. I don't have any money. It's it's about the empowerment of a legacy.
Impact. How much of an impact
when my
you're
kids
making.
know that about me, and it's all cool. I got a great relationship with them and so forth, but. Yeah, do I need to take more time looking at my hairy legs on that lake? I will in person. I'm going to start doing that. But it's the legacy that is my greatest asset.
So my personal opinion on this is I think health is your greatest asset, because all the things you guys mentioned, you can't do if you don't have your health.
That's true.
So I do think that's the biggest factor in your life, because you can't go on those vacations if you don't have your health, because you're not able to do that, whether it's physically or mentally, taking care of your family. If you're not there to do that for your daughter and help her out, and you don't have your health, you're not going to be there for
Right.
like you wanted to.
Or even help yourself,
And
right? I
even
mean,
like,
that's
you
the
know,
key.
you like to put in a lot of hours at work. If you don't have your health, you're not going to be able to put those kind of
Right,
hours.
absolutely.
Right.
So to me, that's what I think is the greatest asset. My grandmother always said,
question about
if you
it.
have your health, you're rich. She lived to be 104 years old. And I do think that if you have your health, you are rich.
Yeah.
Love that.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Dr. Frank, good
Love you,
stuff
man.
today.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
grateful for that. And here's to having an amazing year with very minimal burnout and following all the steps that Dr. Frank put into
Number
place.
one asset, our health.
Our health.
Number one
I love
asset's the
that.
health.
Thanks for listening. You've been listening to the talk of Music City Real Estate.